Antavattu phalam tesham.
Antvatu phalam tesham.
Tad bhavati alpamedhasam.
Tad bhavati alpamedhasam.
Devan devayajo yanti.
Devan devayajo yanti.
Mad bhakta yanti mamapi.
Mad bhakta yanti mam api. Translation. Men of small intelligence worship the demigods and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet.
Right. So, openly declared, how clearly explained, yet there is so much confusion in the world. किसकी पूजा करे, किसकी पूजा करे, कहाँ जाए, क्या करे. Let's read the translation once again or to dispel all the confusion.
Yes. Men of small intelligence worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet.
Right. So, some commentators on the Gita, Prabhupada is talking about all the other commentaries that have been written on the Bhagavad Gita. वो इस verse को कैसे interpret करते हैं, कैसे इसको present करते हैं. They say that one who worships a Devi Devta, a demigod, can reach the Supreme Lord. मतलब कोई भी path पकड़ो, they all lead to the ocean. कुछ भी पकड़ लो, पहुंचोगे तो वहीं एक ही destination पे. Well, that's not what the maker of the universe, the maker of this world is saying. Here it is clearly stated that worshippers of the demigods go to other planetary systems where these demigods are situated. Just as a worshipper of the sun achieves the sun, or a worshipper of the moon achieves the moon. जिसकी पूजा करोगे उसी के घर, उसी के स्थान पे जाओगे. Similarly, if anyone wants to worship Indra, then he can also attain that God's planet. It's not that everyone, regardless of whatever demigod is worshipped, will reach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is denied here. So it is clearly stated that the worshippers of the demigods go to different planets in the universe. But the devotee of the Supreme Lord goes directly to the Supreme Planet of the Personality of Godhead. Mad bhakta yanti mamapi. Yanti means go. Mam means to me. Mad bhakta yanti. Mere bhakt आते हैं मेरे पास. So जिसकी पूजा करोगे, जैसी कॉन्शियसनेस होगी वैसा ही फल मिलेगा. Not that everything is the same. Here the point may be raised that if the demigods are different paths of the same, देवी देवता भी कृष्ण के ही भुजाएं हैं, कृष्ण के ही अंग हैं. So then the same end should be achieved by worshipping them also, isn't it? However, worshippers of all the demigods are less intelligent. Why? Who will tell me? ऐसा क्यों बोल रहे हैं भाई? भक्त हैं, देवी देवताओं की पूजा कर रहे हैं. Why are they less intelligent? अल्पमेधसाम, कृष्ण के वर्ड्स हैं ये, not coined by Prabhupada. This verse has been spoken by Krishna. They are अल्पमेधसाम. क्यों? Why are they less intelligent? Because they don't know to which part of the body food must be supplied. पौष्टिक खाना बनाकर कान में डाल रहे हैं, या खाना बनाकर हाथ पे मल रहे हैं, या खाना बना के सिर में मल रहे हैं. है ना? This is how they are trying to feed the body. नाक पे मल रहे हैं, आंख पे मल रहे हैं. Everywhere except the mouth. Some of them are so foolish that they claim that there are many parts and many ways to supply food. This isn't very sanguine. Can anyone supply food to the body through the ears or the eyes? They do not know that these demigods are different parts of Krishna, and in their ignorance they believe that each and every demigod is a separate god and is a competitor of Krishna. So therefore they are less intelligent. They are envious of Krishna, and they think that these demigods are competitors of Krishna. Not only are the demigods parts and parcels of Krishna, but ordinary living entities are also his parts and parcels. हम भी उनके part and parcel हैं ऐसे तो जैसे देवी देवता ऐसे हम भी हैं. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that Brahmanas are the head of the Supreme Lord. मतलब कृष्ण के head area से the Jiva Tattvas that appeared from his head were of Brahmanical character. Similarly, those that appeared from his arms, from his through all the pores of his body, jivas were coming out and taking births on the planets, right? So those that were coming out of his head were Brahmins by nature, by consciousness. Those that were coming out of his arms were Kshatriyas. From his waist, Kamar, Gardhani, they were Vaishyas. Their consciousness was there of business acumen, mercantile community. And those that came out of his legs were Shudras. And they all had specific functions. There was no less and more or higher or lower. All were required to run the society. Regardless of the situation, if one knows that both the demigods and he himself are parts and parcels of Krishna, then his knowledge is perfect, regardless of the situation. But if he does not understand this, then he achieves different planets where the demigods reside. This is not the same destination that the devotee reaches. The results achieved by the demigods' benedictions are perishable. Here comes the difference. Ravan ne, Hiranyakashipu ne, Bhaumasur ne, Shivji se jo vardhan liye, Brahma se jo vardhan liye, all had an expiry date. It's not that they were eternal. They themselves are not eternal. How can their blessings be eternal? So they all come with, they are perishable. They come with an expiry date, with a shelf life. Because they also belong to the material world, which perishes. The material world itself comes with an expiry date. जैसे ये earth create करके hang हो रही है, उसी समय उसके ऊपर manufacturing date and expiry date print हो जाती है. Krishna prints it and sends. Okay, it is being produced in this Manvantar and it will expire in this Manvantar. Under the leadership of this Manu, the Pralay will come. So any Devi Devta residing on this planet will also expire with the expiry date of the planet. What is so difficult to understand? But if you're looking for a permanent result, why will you go to a temporary Ishwar? Isn't it? They are all Ishwars. Ishwar ka literal meaning kya hai? Controller. So they are all Ishwars. The sun, the moon, they're all controlling different departments. Ek department ke in charge hai. They're all controllers. But the intelligent will not go to the Ishwar. The intelligent will go to the Param Ishwar, the controller of the controllers. Because he is permanent. He does not have an expiry date. And he can give you a permanent solution. The pure devotee engaged in Krishna consciousness in bhakti achieves eternal blissful existence, which is full of knowledge. His achievements and those of the common worshipper of the demigods are different. The results are different of Devi Devta Puja and Vasudev or Devaki Nanda Puja. The Supreme Lord is unlimited, his favor is unlimited, his mercy is unlimited. Therefore, the mercy of the Supreme Lord upon his pure devotees is unlimited. I think this part is clear now. Hello? Could you also hear the sound of traffic? Nahin. Acha. Okay, next verse. So I'm going to go fast. Unless you have a question, you have to ask me immediately in between. Okay. Next verse. Any volunteers? Vinti? Avyaktam vyaktim apanam
Avyaktam vyakti apannam
manyante mam abuddhayah
manyante mam buddhaya
param bhavam ajananto
param bhavam ajananto
mama vyayam anuttamam
mama vyayam anuttamam
mama vyayam anuttamam.
mama vyayam anuttamam.
Okay, translation.
Unintelligent men who do not know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, was impersonal before and have now assumed this personality. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme.
You know, I sometimes feel कैसे लगता होगा कृष्ण को कि अपने बारे में खुद आगे उनको ये बताना पड़ रहा है. How he must be feeling, you know? He should be glorified, you know, by everybody else, and they should be telling us about his glories. And there's no one doing that in Kali-yuga. So उनको खुद आगे कहना पड़ रहा है. You know that what is he saying? Mama avyayam, I am imperishable. Anuttamam, finest. Avyaktam, I am non-manifested. मतलब मेरा कभी जन्म नहीं हुआ. I didn't manifest at some point in time. मेरी कोई manufacturing date नहीं है. Eternally, I was always there. तुम लोग बाद में आए. Your manufacturing date came later. I was always there. I'm always there and I will always be there. Then again he's saying, abuddhaya, less intelligent. Previous verse mein unhone, what did he say? Alpa medhasam. Different words he's using. Alpa means less. Medhasam matlab buddhi. कम बुद्धि वाले लोग सोचते हैं कि सब कुछ एक है. उसी तरह यहाँ ही here he's saying abuddhaya, again less intelligent persons. Ajanantah, matlab without knowing. What are they saying? Those who are worshippers of demigods have been described as less intelligent persons. And here the impersonalists are similarly described. Krishna in his personal form is here speaking before Arjuna. And still due to ignorance, impersonalists argue that ultimately he has no form. Kitna clearly wo is verse mein, in the previous verse and this verse. 23 and 24, how clearly he's saying that avyaktam vyaktim. Avyaktam means shapeless, formless, non-manifested. And vyaktim means I have a personality, I have a form, I'm a person. So he's saying that people think that earlier it was, you know, it was just Mother Nature. There was just energy everywhere, just void. And then somehow my shape came. तो इसका मतलब मदर नेचर बड़ी हुई. पहले मदर नेचर थी, बाद में कृष्ण है. इसका तो यही मतलब हुआ ना. But it's, he's saying that they do not know that my nature is higher. And my nature is imperishable and supreme. From me came Mother Nature. He does not even need anyone. He does not need any mother or female to produce or procreate. He can himself procreate by himself. And that's a very big point, isn't it? Still impersonalists argue that he has no form. Yamunacharya, a great devotee in the disciplic succession of Ramanujacharya, has written a very appropriate verse. Prabhupada is quoting a very appropriate verse. This is from the Stotra Ratna. My dear Lord, devotees like Vyasadeva and Narad know you to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By understanding different Vedic literatures, one can come to know your characteristics, form, activities, and one can thus understand that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But those who are in the modes of passion and ignorance, the demons, the non-devotees, cannot understand you. They are unable to understand you. However expert such non-devotees may be in discussing Vedanta and Upanishads and other Vedic literatures, it's not possible for them to understand the personality of Godhead. So this verse explains why people are abuddhayaha or alpamedhasam. Because they are in the mode of passion and ignorance, according to their previous karmic reactions. They have been given a low dosage of intelligence because there wasn't enough bank account, karmic bank account, to be given more. Because of which they are unable to understand the difference. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that the personality of Godhead cannot be understood simply by studying Vedanta. Vedant padke aapko Krishna nahi milenge. Only by kripa, by the mercy of the Supreme Lord, can the personality of the Supreme be known. Did you read what I posted today about Kadam Kanand Swami Maharaj? This is what he wrote. Shall I read it to you? Mercy. This is his realization. He said on 12th November 2022 in Vrindavan, I just meditate on mercy. The point is this: we have to appreciate that this is a mercy movement and we somehow or other just take shelter constantly. We do not measure ourselves all the time, because if we start measuring ourselves, we will always fall short and then we will become increasingly frustrated. So there is no need for measuring. Instead, just take shelter. Take shelter of the holy name, take shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam, take shelter of devotees, take shelter of prasadam, and take shelter of devotional service. Such a beautiful realization, isn't it? This is a mercy movement. We are here just to take kripa. Bina kripa ke, there's no hope. चाहे हम दीक्षा ले लें, चाहे हम रीडिंग करें, चाहे हम हियरिंग करें, हम कुछ भी कर लें, we are always going to fall short. Because we are मंद भाग्य. हमारा भाग्य बहुत मंद है. We do not have an auspicious destiny. इसीलिए तो हम इस planet पे आए हैं. So जो मंद भाग्य होते हैं, they should constantly be begging for mercy. और वो beg कर करके, pray कर करके ही अपना account, bank balance भर सकते हैं, so that they can get out of this place. This gives us hope. Otherwise, we will be frustrated. So not only are the worshippers of Devi Devtas less intelligent, but those non-devotees who are engaged in Vedanta and speculation on Vedic literature, without any tinge of true Krishna consciousness, are also less intelligent. And for them, it's not possible to understand God's personal nature. मतलब केवल कर्मकांडी नहीं, जो वेदों को भी पढ़ रहे हैं, वेदांत को भी पढ़ रहे हैं, वेदांत सूत्रों को भी पढ़ रहे हैं, लेकिन उसको मिसइंटरप्रेट कर रहे हैं. वेदांत क्यों लिखे गए, क्यों लिखा गया, वेद क्यों लिखे गए, वेदांत सूत्र क्यों लिखे गए, उपनिषद क्यों लिखे गए? To bring us closer to Krishna, to give us the address of Krishna's destination, to show us the way, to help us realize that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. लेकिन अगर आप वो उस realization के पास नहीं आ रहे, उससे दूर जा रहे हैं, then you are as good as an atheist or abudhaya. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that the supreme realization begins from the impersonal Brahman and then rises to the localized super soul, but ultimately it's the personality of Godhead. Modern impersonalists are still less intelligent, for they do not even follow their great predecessor Shankaracharya, who has specifically stated that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. तो कलयुग के लोग तो वो कह रहे हैं कि और भी ज्यादा मंदभाग्य हैं, मंदबुद्धि और मंदभाग्य हैं, क्योंकि वो अपने इमीडिएट लास्ट जो आचार्य आए वो कौन थे? शंकराचार्य. एंड शंकराचार्य ultimately wrote in his great work, in the end he concluded bhaj govindam bhaj govindam bhaj govindam मूलतः. He said वो भी follow नहीं कर रहे, you know. So impersonalists, therefore, not knowing the supreme truth, think that Krishna is only the son of Devaki and Vasudev. Ordinary थे, ये पिता थे, ये माता थे, पैदा हुए और बड़े powerful prince थे, and then he also died like the rest of them. They think he's a historical figure. This is also condemned in the Bhagwad Gita. In the 9th chapter it will come. Avajananti mam mudha manushim tanum ashritam. Only fools regard me as an ordinary person. Clearly bol rahe hain. How much more straightforward can you say? Still, people read the Bhagavad Gita and come to the conclusion that God is just one void. How unfortunate is that? So those kind of people also ये direct verses को भी जो पढ़कर इसका indirect meaning निकाले, they are considered even more abudhaya. वो देवी देवताओं के पूजा कर्म कांडियों से भी lower हैं in their intelligence. The fact is that no one can understand Krishna without seva, without devotional service, and without developing Krishna consciousness, and without begging for mercy. It's impossible to know who he is. Again, Prabhupada quotes another verse from the Bhagavatam. My Lord, if one is favored by even a slight trace of the mercy of your lotus feet, he can understand the greatness of your personality. Again, kripa. इतनी सी भी कृपा हो जाए, एकदम से दिमाग की बत्ती जल जाएगी. But those who speculate to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead are unable to know you, even though they continue to study the Vedas for many, many years. So activity क्या कर रहे हो वो important नहीं है. किस भावना से कर रहे हो, किस intention से कर रहे हो is what will give you results. One cannot understand Krishna or his form, quality or name simply by mental speculation or by discussing Vedic literature. One must understand him by devotional service. When one is fully engaged in Krishna consciousness, beginning by chanting the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, then only one can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Non-devotee impersonalists think that Krishna has a body made of this material nature and that all his activities, his form, everything is Maya. These impersonalists are known as Mayavadis. They do not know the ultimate truth because for them the sum total is Maya. Therefore they are called Mayavadis. जो माया में ही विश्वास रखते हैं वो मायावादी हो गए, है ना? The 20th verse clearly states, Kamaistai hrita jnana prapadyante anya devataha. Those who are blinded by lusty desires surrender unto the different demigods. So Krishna की पूजा, कृष्ण की भक्ति, कृष्ण की सेवा वो लोग नहीं लेते जिनके lustful desires यहाँ पे पूरे नहीं हो रहे. They're not liking to follow all those rules and regulations. Therefore, they try to go to the Devi Devtas who say, it's okay, you can do it, no problem. Therefore, they get attracted. It is accepted that besides Krishna, there are demigods who have their different planets, and the Lord also has his planet. As stated in the 23rd verse, Devan Deva Yajo Yanti Madbhakta Yanti Mamapi. The worshippers of the demigods go to the different planets of the demigods, and those who are devotees of Lord Krishna go to the Krishna Lok planet. Although this is clearly stated, still the foolish impersonalists maintain that the Lord is formless and that these forms are impositions. क्या कर सकते हैं आप इनके लिए? कुछ नहीं कर सकते. You really can't make them understand. But you still, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna came again. As Krishna, he couldn't convince them, so he came again as Gaura Chandra, where he just freely distributed Harinam, thus Harinam, to everyone. That just chant this Harinam and you will get Buddhi. Your Alpa Buddhi will convert into Shreshta Buddhi. He freely gave this Harinam. Sumptuous prasadam is distributed from the Rath of Lord Jagannath, so that those who are envious of Krishna, who are enemies of Krishna, who are impersonalists, who are Mayavadis, who are atheists, who have no desire to consider him the Lord, उनके मुंह में भी अगर प्रसादम चला जाए, उनके चरणों का चरणामृत अगर उनके सिर पर पड़ जाए, या उन्हें भी कुछ दे दिया जाए, हरिनाम उनके कानों में पड़ जाए, they will be benefited. Sorry. Okay. Although this is clearly stated, the foolish impersonalists still maintain that Krishna is formless, God is formless, and that these forms are impositions. From the study of the Gita, Prabhupada is asking a question. Does it appear that the Devi Devtas and their abodes are impersonal? मतलब देवी देवता का आकार है ना? माँ सरस्वती ऐसी दिखती हैं, माँ दुर्गा ऐसी दिखती हैं, वैष्णो देवी ऐसी दिखती हैं, उनके वाहन शेर और स्वान, उनका भी एक आकार है. फिर उनके जो प्लैनेट्स हैं, उनका भी एक आकार है. एक कृष्ण का ही आकार नहीं है. हाँ, where is the logic in this? सभी का आकार है, आपका आकार है, मेरा आकार है, इस दुनिया का आकार है, हर चीज का आकार है, बस इसको बनाने वाले का आकार नहीं है. Is that an intelligent logic? There is a logic in this. Clearly, neither the demigods nor Krishna are impersonal. They are all persons. Krishna is the supreme and he has his own planet, and the Devi Devtas have their own planets. Sabke addresses alag hain. They may all be in the same team, but their addresses are different. So, किसी जिसका भी आप नाम लेते हो, दरवाजा खटखटाते हो, आप उसी के एड्रेस पे जाओगे. Not that you write a letter to Durga and you will reach Krishna Lok. No, you will reach Durga Lok only, not Krishna Lok. Therefore, the monistic contention that ultimate truth is formless and that form is imposed does not hold true. This is the conclusion with firm logic and facts. Prabhupada is explaining. Therefore, like a conclusion, it's clearly stated here that it is not imposed. From the Bhagwad Gita, we can clearly understand that the forms of the Devi Devtas and the form of Krishna exist simultaneously. Side by side they exist. And that Lord Krishna is Satchidanand, eternal, blissful, and fully knowledgeable. The Vedas also confirm that the supreme absolute truth is Anandamayo Bhasyat, or by nature full of Anandamaya, blissful pleasure, and that he is the reservoir of unlimited auspicious qualities. And in the Gita, the Lord says that although he is Aja, he's clearly saying he is Aja. What is Aja?
Unborn.
Never taken birth.
Yeah.
Who has not taken birth. He has not appeared like you and me or anything else in this world. Everything, he is Aja. Still, he appears from time to time. And Prabhupada explained very nicely, isko samajhna mushkil hai. This is an inconceivable idea. But he gives an example, a practical example, like the sun. Today morning, the sun rose. You saw the rising sun. Right now, in a few minutes, maybe an hour maximum, it's going to disappear. Does that mean that today morning he was born and now in the evening he's going to die? Just because you saw him in the morning, does that mean that he took birth at that time only? And in the night, when he dies and he disappears, does that mean that he's not existing now? No. Similarly, it is with Krishna. He was always there. He chooses from time to time to appear on this planet Earth in this avatar or that avatar. So only a foolish person will say, oh, ye to abhi abhi paida hue. Ye Vasudev or Devki se abhi abhi paida hue. Okay, so what about all the previous yugas and all the... So this is the difference. Just as the sun is setting, you can't see him, but he is still shining. There only, he is there. He is still shining. That's how he appears as an avatar. We cannot understand how Krishna can be impersonal. The imposition theory of the impersonalist monist is false as far as the statements of Gita are concerned. It is clear herein that the supreme absolute truth, Lord Krishna, has both form and personality. This has been firmly established that God is a person. He has a personality. He has a family. He has his own emotions. He has likes. He likes many things. He dislikes many things. He is a person. Is that point clear? We should be able to share this with those who say that, well, I'm not religious. I'm just spiritual. Well, what does that mean? It means that I don't believe in a God who is a person. I believe in this energy around, and this energy has been made for me to enjoy, and I can do whatever I like. I don't have to necessarily follow a person who has created this world with some rules and regulations. I give myself a free chit. Okay, I don't believe in you, so I'm not going to follow what you're saying. Does it make sense? Sometimes we don't want to believe this belongs to someone, or we've come to live in somebody else's house just because we don't want to report to that person. We want to enjoy it on our own terms. ये घर मेरा है. So what अगर तुमने बनाया और तुम यहाँ रह रहे हो? अब मैं रह रहा हूँ ना, मैं अपने हिसाब से जीऊंगा. तुम कौन? Isn't it? That could be one of the mentalities behind this thought, that you do not want to take responsibility of following the rules and regulations. Hence, you say, I don't believe you. It's like saying, when the jackal comes to eat the rabbit, he just closes his eyes. Oh, the jackal doesn't exist. I'm just going to close my eyes and sit there, and I will say, I don't believe in the jackal. And he wishes that the jackal will just disappear by closing his eyes. It's that kind of unintelligent. Clear? Any questions? All right, next verse. Naham prakashah sarvasya
Naham prakasha sarvasya
yoga maya samavritah
yoga maya samavritah
moodho ayam nabhi janati
mudo yamna bijanati
loko mamajam avyayam.
loko mam ajam avyayam.
Explanation.
Hare Krishna. I'm never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them, I'm covered by my internal potency, and therefore they do not know that I'm unborn and infallible.
Okay, so Krishna also has his protection. In the sense, he does not like to reveal himself to those who don't believe in him. He keeps himself covered. Only the devotees can pry open that covering. Then he allows that. So he also doesn't like to, he doesn't hold any grudges, but he likes to keep himself covered by his internal potency from those who are envious of him, who don't want to believe in him. He says, okay, go ahead, enjoy on your own terms. He gives them all facility for enjoying. He continues to feed them. Well, what is the proof? The proof is we are living in this world. All the atheists, demoniac people, everybody has access to food, to sunlight, to moonlight, to air. It's not that it stops for them. It's only for the devotees. He is giving all facility to them. They also have the love of families and friends and a social structure and everything. He says, okay, you take whatever you want. I will not be there since you don't want me. Fair. He covers himself. So वो देख कर भी नहीं देख पाते, जान कर भी नहीं जा पाते. They may visit all the dhams, Vrindavan, Dwaraka, Mayapur, but they will come back empty-handed, empty-hearted, because Krishna is covered. He's only looking for love and affection, and he's looking for voluntary affection, not forced. So when of your own will you go to try and find him, then he's visible. So it may be argued that since Krishna was visible to everyone when he was present on this earth, then how can it be said that he's not manifest to everyone? Actually, he was not manifest to everyone. When Krishna was present, there were only a few people who could understand him as God. सबने देखा. कुरुक्षेत्र के मैदान पे तो सबने देखा. फिर भी देखकर नहीं दिखा. This is called covering by his internal potency. You will not be able to recognize. You won't be able to recognize. In the assembly of Kurus, when Shishupal spoke against Krishna's being elected the president of the assembly, Bhishma supported him and proclaimed him to be the supreme God. Shishupal spoke against Krishna. खड़े थे सामने. And he was the one who, जिन्होंने 99 गालियां दी ना, he cursed him with the choicest of bad words. And Krishna is just standing there. He has no false ego. He has no false ego. He's just standing there smiling. Okay. So, पांडव भी देख रहे थे उस समय, भीष्म भी देख रहे थे, शिशुपाल भी देख रहा था, but शिशुपाल को नहीं दिखा ये कौन है. भीष्म देव ने immediately खड़े होकर कहा, no, he's God, he's the supreme personality of Godhead. Similarly, the Pandavas and a few others knew that he is the supreme, not everyone. So he was not revealed to the non-devotees and to the common man. Therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that but for his pure devotees, all men consider him to be like themselves. He was manifest only to his devotees as the reservoir of all pleasure. But to others, to unintelligent non-devotees, he was covered by his internal potency. In the prayers of Kunti, it is said that the Lord is covered by the curtain of Yog Maya, and thus ordinary people cannot understand him. This Yog Maya curtain is also confirmed in the Isopanishad, in which the devotee prays, "O my Lord, Hiranmayena Patrena, you are the maintainer of the entire universe, and devotional service to you is the highest religious principle. Therefore, I pray that you will also maintain me. Your transcendental form is covered by the Yog Maya, and the Brahmajyoti is the covering of the internal potency. May you kindly remove this glowing effulgence that impedes my seeing your Satchit Anand Vigraha, your eternal form of bliss and knowledge." So आपकी बॉडी से ये जो ब्रह्म ज्योति की कवरिंग निकल रही है, इससे मेरी आंखें चुंधिया रही हैं, and I'm not able to see the Satchidanand Vigraha behind it. Queen Kunti is praying. So she's saying कि you kindly give me the eyes with which I can see. मैं तो नहीं देख पाऊंगी अपनी इन eyes के साथ. The Supreme Personality of Godhead in his transcendental form of bliss and knowledge is covered by the internal potency of the Brahma Jyoti, and the less intelligent and personalist cannot see the Supreme on this account. जैसे आप सूरज को देखकर भी नहीं देख सकते, similarly आप कृष्ण को देखकर भी नहीं पहचान सकते. You can see from far the sunshine of the sun, but can you look into the sun? No, you will become blind. Temporarily तो blind हो ही जाते हैं हम, जब हम आंख में आंख डालते हैं अगर सूरज की, और उसके बाद अगर आप अपनी आंख हटा दो, you can just see black. है ये practical experience है सबका? So you actually cannot look at the sun, can you? हम उसकी परछाई, उसकी रोशनी को दूसरी जगह सन की तरफ ना देख करके कहीं रोशनी उसकी जहां गिर रही हो वहां पे उस रोशनी को देख सकते हैं. सन को तो नहीं देख सकते. सन का आकार भी आपको नहीं दिख सकता if you are looking at the sun. This is the position of Krishna. You cannot see him. You can only see him through the eyes of your heart. Only there. Because he won't allow you. Because he is not allowing you. Also in the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is this prayer by Brahma. How many verses Prabhupada is quoting? Verse after verse to support. O Supreme Personality of Godhead, O Super Soul, O Master of all mystery, who can calculate your potency and pastimes in this world? You are always expanding your internal potency, and therefore no one can understand you. Learned scientists and learned scholars can examine the atomic constitution of the material world or even the planets, but still they are unable to calculate your energy and potency, although you are present before them. Wow. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, is not only unborn, but also avyaya, inexhaustible. He can give trillions and trillions of energy from himself, yet the energy in him will not finish. मतलब वो कभी कम नहीं होगी, कभी खत्म नहीं होगी. He is inexhaustible, कभी ना खत्म होने वाला reservoir है. He can create millions and trillions of planets with all the facilities, yet it will not exhaust. His eternal form is bliss and knowledge, and his energies are all inexhaustible. Simply because he is eternal. He is eternal. Can never finish. There's no expiry date on him. He's the source of everything. Any questions? Anybody wants to say anything? Yes,
Mataji, what is internal potency? Antaranga Shakti means?
योग माया.
Okay.
जो कृष्ण की अंदर की पावर है उसको योग माया बोलते हैं. जो बाहर की पावर है उसको महामाया बोलते हैं.
Okay.
तो ये जो पृथ्वी पे हम हैं, यहाँ महामाया का तांडव चलता है. महामाया का काम है to keep you in illusion. She will ensure that you cannot see Krishna, you cannot understand him, and you will keep on roaming around, unable to find the purpose of your life. That's Mahamaya. To run this material world, he uses Mahamaya. But unki jo internal potency hai, because Radharani, in the spiritual world, everything works according to his Yog Maya potency. क्योंकि स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड में यही सभी चीजें हैं जो यहाँ पे हैं. यहाँ पे उसका शैडो है सिर्फ. वहां पे द ओरिजिनल फॉर्म एग्जिस्ट. वहां पे भी फैमिलीज हैं, सबके अपनी एक फैमिली सिस्टम है, सोशल ऑर्डर है, सब कुछ है, बट इट इज इटर्नल. एंड ऑल ऑफ दोस थिंग्स वर्क अकॉर्डिंग टू somebody has to arrange, no, that whole mahal. of a
Hmm.
community, a family. That is taken care of by his internal potency, Yogamaya.
ओके, जैसे यहाँ पे लिखा है ना कि कुंती देवी ने जो प्रार्थना की थी, तो उसमें जो है मेरे पास मराठी भगवत गीता है इसके लिए। योग
कोई बात
माया,
नहीं।
ये जो योग माया है वो आउटर पोटेंसी, राइट? ये जो
Internal.
इन
Internal. Yogamaya
ओके, हाँ, इंटरनल
is
पोटेंसी,
internal.
हाँ, राइट राइट।
External is Mahamaya.
ओके ओके ओके, थैंक यू। हरे कृष्णा माता जी।
Hare Krishna. Do you want to read the next verse?
यस, वेदाहं समतीतानि वर्तमानानि चार्जुन, भविष्याणि च भूतानि मातुं वेद न कश्चन।
Translation पढ़ोगे?
अब मेरे पास मराठी है भगवत गीता।
Okay, okay.
हाँ, सॉरी।
Okay, okay. Vinti, you want to read?
Okay. Hare Krishna. O Arjun, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all things that are yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me no one knows.
Again and again he's saying. Here the question of personality and impersonality is clearly stated. If Krishna, the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, were Maya, material, as the impersonalists consider him to be, then, like the living entity, he would also change his body. He would forget everything about his past life, isn't it? Again, this verse is proof that he does not die. He is not a historical figure who took birth and who also died. Because if he died, how could he remember his past? He's clearly saying here, I remember what happened in the past, all that is happening now, and also what is going to come in future also I know. कैसे possible है अगर वो हमारी तरह ही पैदा हुए, हमारी तरह ही मर गए? Anyone with a material body cannot remember his past life, isn't it? Nor can he foretell his future life. कोई बता सकता है हम में से? विद्वान से विद्वान टाइम ऑफ डेथ बता सकता है कोई अपना? Nor can he predict the outcome of his present life. Therefore, he cannot know what's happening in the past, present, and future. Unless one is liberated from material contamination, he cannot know past, present, and future. Unlike the ordinary human being, Krishna clearly says that he completely knows what happened in the past, what is happening now, and what will happen in the future. He's Sarvagyata. How is that? Not only about himself, about everybody else. Who can claim to know this? अपने बारे में भी and every jiva on the planet के बारे में भी. He claims that I know. So how can he be ordinary? How can he just be a formless person? In the 4th chapter, we have seen that Krishna remembers instructing Vivaswan. Who's Vivaswan?
Sun god.
Sun god.
The
Sun
current
god's-
post. The sun is a post. Currently, that post is being occupied by the king named Vivaswan. He's the king of the sun planet. Just see our Shastra. They're even telling you who is the current reigning. Manu is Vaivasvat Manu. Vaivasvat means the Manu who has come during the rule of the king Vivaswan. So of Vivaswan is Vaivasvat Manu. Krishna, millions of years ago, Bhagwad Gita उन्होंने Vivaswan को सुनाई थी. Millions of years ago. That gives you a little idea of how old this earth is. हमें लगता है अभी 5000 साल पहले आई है. Krishna knows every living entity because he is situated in every living being's heart as the super soul. Who can claim? Any Devi Devta can claim to be the Paramatma in the heart. सबके हृदय में दुर्गा बैठी हैं, सबके हृदय में शिव बैठे हैं, ऐसा है कहीं पे भी उल्लेख? सबके हृदय में परमात्मा इज गणपति, सबके हृदय में परमात्मा इज, no, it's just Vishnu always. So where is the confusion on who is the supreme personality of Godhead? Paramatma की post किसी को दी है आज तक किसी ने? Has anybody claimed he is the Paramatma in every living entity's heart? So why this confusion? Despite his presence, the less intelligent, even if able to realize the Brahman, cannot realize Krishna as the supreme. अगर मन में द्वेष है तो सब कुछ पढ़ लिख कर भी नहीं समझ पाओगे, ढूंढते रह जाओगे ढूंढते रह जाओगे, नहीं मिलेगा अगर मन में द्वेष है कृष्ण के लिए. Certainly the transcendental body of Shri Krishna is not perishable. He is just like the sun. Here Prabhupada gives the example. सूरज की तरह है, सूरज अस्त होने पर मरता नहीं है, वो तो है, आप नहीं देख पा रहे हो, वो तो अभी भी चमक रहा है, कोई और देख पा रहा है उन्हें. उसी तरह कृष्ण does not die. Maya is like a cloud that covers you. This is Maya, अर्चना. This is Maya, जो थोड़ी देर के लिए सूरज को ढक देती है और आपको लगता है ओ रात हो गई, सूरज चला गया, कहीं चला गया. It's just the work of Maya. Krishna only, actually. It's the work of Krishna only. In the material world, we can see that there is the sun, there are clouds, stars, planets. Clouds may cover all these in the sky temporarily, but this covering is only apparent to our vision. The sun, moon and stars are not covered. वो अपनी जगह पे ही हैं. तारे दिन में भी हैं, आप नहीं देख पा रहे हो. मून भी है दिन में, वही है, आप नहीं देख पा रहे हो. सब कुछ वही है और परमानेंटली है. आपको लग रहा है अरे आ गया सूरज, आ गया, अरे अरे चंद्रमा आ गया, आ नहीं गया, वही था, आप आ गए. You don't confuse. Similarly, Maya cannot cover Krishna. She covers you. बादल की क्या हिम्मत, क्या मजाल कि वो सन को ढक दे, वो आपकी आंखों को ढक रहा है. Maya cannot cover Krishna. By his internal potency, he is just not manifest to the less intelligent. As it is stated in the 3rd verse of this chapter, out of millions and millions of men, some try to become perfect in this human form of life, like His Holiness Kadam Swami Maharaj ki Jai. What a glorious passing. Even Vaishnavas through their deaths prove the existence of Krishna, the validity of the Shastras, and they teach us how to leave this world, how to prepare for death. And this is proof that Shastra is right. What a glorious passing in the land of Vrindavan, with his Guru Maharaj by his side, his Giriraj by his side, and profuse kirtan of all the Vaishnavas, and he departs from this world. What a glorious passing away. Even if one is perfected by realization of impersonal Brahman or localized Paramatma, he cannot understand Krishna without being Krishna consciousness. 3 तरह के realizations है भगवान के, ब्रह्मेति, परमात्मेति, भगवानेति. अगर आप ब्रह्मन तक भी आ गए हो, ब्रह्मन realization that God is an energy, and then वहां से आप परमात्मा तक भी आ गए हो, that okay, he is the Paramatma in our heart. Still, ultimately, Bhagwaniti, to realize that that Paramatma is none other but the expansion coming from Krishna. जरूरी नहीं है कि ये realization आपको आ जाए. Brahman समझ के और परमात्मा समझ के भी not necessary that you will understand Krishna. Okay. Want to do the next verse? Raise your hands if you want me to go further.
4 verses हैं माता जी, अभी तो चैप्टर खत्म होने के लिए ना.
So we stop?
हाँ, मेरे ख्याल से आज तो नहीं हो पाएगा 4 verses.
Yeah. So, please share what you learned, what inspired you, what you felt. You can share.
What
Mataji, should I stop the recording?
Yes, dear, you can.